Hello there, welcome back to, well, France. I do apologize that it's been a couple of days. I ended up, well, having a little more problem than I expected. School had set up their first assignments to basically yesterday, and I wasn't prepared for this, and I was lagging behind in, of course, that subject. And as such, I basically spent the last few days focusing on that, as well as playing a little bit of other games to, well, disconnect. I have also been working a tiny bit on my Sweden game, and so far it's not going well, so I have to see if I can turn that around. But anyways, I haven't actually been able to upload any of that, sadly. But we'll focus on this France game now, and I'll get it done within the end of the week. I'll probably cut down the parts quite severely here. Now, I've done a little bit of checking up here on what we need here. We need, well, quite a bit of the area, I believe. I'm a little bit unsure on exactly what. Let's see here. I believe one of them was called... Nope, that's the entirely wrong region. Let's see here. Cheetah, perhaps? I have no idea. I'll have to check this up next time again because I'm a little bit unsure. But I was told it was in this area, so I'll just go for a little bit of checking out there. Sadly, I need another monitor because I had the information in front of me before I started this, well, recording, and now it's just gone. But anyways, never mind that. What we are going to do this time is, I think, wait for the Ottoman peace to wear out. We're most likely going to fight Lithuania here, and we're going to basically connect our northern lands to our southern lands and also take the Lithuanian provinces in the region just to be sure that we get everything we need. So I think that is going to be one of the things we'll be doing today. And as you can see, I do have a ton of troops here to keep everything in check. We are going to move a lot of these though into areas where we will be doing, well, the most of the fighting. And again, Europe is just boxed in right now, and we're going to keep it that way because they have nothing. They have nothing we want, so there's no good reason to get involved in the region per se. Other than that, there's not really too much going to be going on here. We're going to be getting a lot of achievements towards the end of the game when time runs out. So I will sit back for now, and we'll just see how getting these achievements goes. I'm also very tempted to hire another leader and assign it to this one, another conquistador. And we will, because we have just so much military power that I don't know what to do with it all. So we'll use this guy, or these two, to explore, as you might imagine, North America. And then we'll see here what happens with the Discovering Everything achievement. We have yet another one of the good events for France, and this time it's Marie Antoinette, who is, well, it's quite a bit of text here. Basically, she was very impressive, and as you can see, you can get two choices with her. You can either gain a 2-skill statesman in Paris, or you can go ahead here and take some of her Reformation ideas could work, which will give you 50 power above or across the board, which is a very, very good thing to have. It's 153, well, monarch power. Why would you say no to that? It's a great deal, no matter how you put it. And I completely also forgot about the fact that in North America, or basically in colonial regions, you can set your guys to hunt for the 7 cities. And basically they will automatically chart nearby unexplored provinces in search of the legendary 7 cities of gold. So it's basically an automatic exploration command, if you will, that you can put up on your troops here, and I have done that. So they should be exploring basically anything they can, meaning that, well, north should be very easy sorted out. Same with south, we're just missing this one province. So I'll have to see how we want to handle that. Hilariously enough, though, England is still just as tiny little island, because in this version of the game, the AI was very poor at colonizing once it became small. But with that said, we're going to continue what we were doing, and hopefully it will well, work pretty well. I will also go ahead now, I think, and declare war on Lithuania, because I think we can handle them. Lithuania is allied with Bohemia, Oldenburg, and Persia, so potentially we could end up in trouble. As you can see, Poland will join in on our side, Persia will not join in, Oldenburg and Bohemia will join in though. But let's just face it, Oldenburg and Bohemia are very small regional powers right now. I can crush them with the arms that I have. So let's just go ahead and declare war on them. The course will be done by the time the war is over. And basically I'll be taking this area. And again I'm making that, well, corridor down to my lands in Turkey. So let's go ahead, declare war. And I think I'll just go ahead and rush the forces of, well, my enemies here. It should go very quick and painless. And hopefully with this I'll be able to make them peace out before they actually become a problem. Of course Lithuania here is going to be one hell of a bother, and it's going to be very interesting to see just how well this war goes. I'll be using 248,000 armies for most of the fighting, and I'll probably use these guys as more or less a defensive measure, more so than an offensive one, but of course that will most likely change as the war keeps on going. As you can see, two of these cores are uncompletable because we argue with, well, a faction that has cores in the area, in this case Lithuania of course. So we'll start this war. The Oldenburg army has already been wiped out, and let's just go ahead and siege Osnabrück, and that should be enough to make them peace out here. A most deadly lake. The natives whisper and throw evil glances toward the still water. They say there is a spirit there in the form of a great serpent or monster. They claim this spirit ambushes canoes on the surface, pulling them down to a watery grave. It may not be the work of monsters, but perhaps it would be wise to go the long way around. We can go around it, or we can just say that there's no such thing as monsters, take the fast way across. I think we'll be fine with just, well, going around it. There'll be slowed in movement speed for a year, but that should be perfectly fine. Let's see here. A French navigator reported that he had found a great river, more than 40 leagues wide and full of islands. According to his notes, 15 leagues within this river, there is a town called NeroBax, with clever inhabitants who trade in furs of all sorts. They're dressed in furs and wearing sable, with a language similar to Latin. These tall and handsome people worship the sun. The town is very rich, and there must be a source of gold, as most of the people are very, well, it's jewelry. So it's futile endeavor, or we must find this place. Free prestige, why wouldn't I take that? It's actually quite interesting considering, well, the amount of prestige you get for that. 0.25 is, in late game, not that much, but in middle game that could actually help you quite a bit to, well, keep things going. But anyways, here for now we'll be dealing with, of course, as you can see, the rebels, and it'll be interesting to see how this war against Lithuania goes. Most of my fortresses are decent, so we should be able to, well, keep our own for a while. We'll have to just see here. So the Bohemian army actually attacked me and I didn't pay enough attention, but it seems like we'll actually lose that battle, of course. So let's see, how far will you, or where will you retreat to? Of course. Let's have you guys meet up in Wien, and once the other guys here have sieged the Oldenburg fortress, we will move from there. The main concern with using some of these armies here that have been weakened is that their manpower, or basically their infantry ratio, is a little bit high, meaning that they will, well, lose a fair bit of infantry, but it will also make them easier to completely destroy later, which is not it's not good at all. But for now we'll focus on Lithuania. Most of the southern part, or eastern part here, is, well, unprotected, which makes it very easy for me to deal with. And let's see, can I take an idea in diplomatic? Do I want to take a diplomatic idea? Well, why not? Lowered impact on stability from diplomatic actions, as well as the tech cost going down 10% for diplomatic or diplomacy tech. Right now, diplomacy tech is actually what I'm lagging behind in, mostly due to the annexations of large entities like Denmark. So it's kind of interesting though, but the reason why the integration of Denmark is taking so long is because they are, well, a little bit insane on the colonial front, as you can see. They have colonized a huge amount of islands for me, and they've basically set themselves up over here, which to some degree here is actually kind of, well, positive for me, but we'll have to see just how that plays out. Worst case scenario, I could get in trouble. Let's see here. I can get a cardinal for 100 admin power, or I can gain 100 admin power. I'll take those 300 admin power. They sound like the, well, smart deal, if you will. I don't see why anyone would take the other option, considering, well, what you'd get. But with that said, I still have the problem child here, Bohemia, to deal with. So let's try again and see if we can this time deal with them in a, well, easy manner. Hopefully we can, but it could be problematic. Apparently another wave of rebels here popped up in Adern, which is a problematic solution. I actually lost the Battle of Prague here. Again. So they have joined up a pretty substantial army. Let's hide in that castle. And the Lithuanians are still sieging my province, which is good. Siege of Osnabrück is over. They still won't give up though, which is interesting. I guess we'll just have to keep on sieging their castles then, until we have what we're after. They actually sent out a fairly big army here. The funny thing is, I think I might have gone a little bit overboard with Albania here. I've given them so much trouble that it's kind of hilarious to look at. Let's face it, my armies here do actually need to recover from protecting Albania. I might actually go a little bit overboard here. I might have to actually pull some troops from the effort against Lithuania to keep that in check. But anyways, now we can actually see the area. I think I need some of this area too. There we have it, Hichiti. I know I need that one. I know I need Yamasa. So I think this is the area, basically, for the three Georges. Let's go ahead and upgrade my military tech here to level 29. Defense in depth enables a new kind of cannon, flying battery. I'm indeed a little bit worried, as I said, so let's just send that guy to clear up there. Let's borrow Lewis here. And I will have to deal with Lithuanian armies sooner or later, so it's going to be interesting just how we're going to do that. Okay, so since I have two castles right next to each other, they can walk through the castles? Wow. I might have just set myself up here for a, well, Shrekkening, if you will. And once again, we have two stacks of separatists popping up in the same area, which is problematic. First set of cores from the Ottoman War has been created, I guess. Let's have you go down south here and deal with these rebels, and hopefully that stack will split. I can always hope for it. And let's deal with those peasants as well. Siege of Moravia, so they're actually winning sieges, which is problematic. There is a Danish army here, which means that I do have some power in the region, which can help me out. But we are going to try and challenge, I think, this army right here, because the Danes are currently fighting, and they will probably win that battle. That's actually the hilarious part here. And boom, we are in trouble in Albania. Funny thing here is, I would actually like to not have to fight Bohemia right now, because then I could use these forces to help out in Albania, which is currently just ridden with rebels everywhere. Walhenia and Bratislava has been sieged, which is good. Let's just go for sieging the castles mostly, and once we siege the castles, we can move from there. Oh crap, that's a huge army. It should not be that big, but it is, which is problematic. But it's also what I need here to actually clean up the rebels in Lithuania. Actually, more rebels in Lithuania than not Lithuania, in Albania right now than there are soldiers in this war, I think. I would actually think that's an accurate statement, which is hilariously scary. Let's move you guys and you guys to Prague. Let's have you guys re-siege Moravia. No, let's just have the 24 stack go for Prague for the time being. And I want to see what this stack does. Send you guys to help. Should have sent my fleet though to help out in this region ages ago. I do lose far too many men in all of these engagements, I'll dare say. So my armies will need some time now to recover. Well, the sieging armies will at least. And I'll have to deal with these guys one way or another, but I don't know how yet. I think we'll deal with the smaller armies and then we'll deal with this max 50 stack later. Let's see here. We're moving forwards on basically everywhere, or the other fronts, but that one is the one that's currently giving me trouble. We will play careful with the rebels here, and I'll get back to you once I end up in a bigger battle, but I need that reinforced dude. But this is seriously hilarious. The stacks in the rebel war in Albania, due to my, well, aggressive exploitation, I guess I should say, is hilarious. I'm tempted now to just white peace when I can with Lithuania, because of the fact that I would definitely like to have more forces to, well, put into this fight. But I think I'll be fine in just piecing out with my enemies here when I can, and we'll move this stack down to help with the rebels, because this is just incredible. And what I mean by when I say incredible is that I haven't seen, well, problematic stacks this size since I played for the World Conquest in EU3. So for the time being, I'll just sit back and I'll deal with the rebels. I'll fight everything, and we'll see here what happens with, well, the Lithuanian war. If there are any battles, I'll show you. If we do anything like that, I'll get back to you. So, the Pope condemns slavery. Pope Clemens VIII has issued a new papal bull, the Sublimes Deus, which forbid the enslavement of the Indians of the West and South and all other people. So I can accept it, which gives me global tariffs plus 5% for 100 years. Or I can refuse and continue the slavery of these people. Now, let's just be perfectly honest here. I think I've already abolished slavery, so there's no reason not to just accept said papal bull. It's perfectly fine. I've actually been using that to sanction commercial monopoly. The, well, papal power that I've been getting, which has actually brought it up to, right now, to 21%. So it's slowly but surely going up, meaning that I'm earning more money from trade. But it's not something that is incredibly important to me. It's perfectly fine, if you can put it that way. But with that said, again, still having rebel issues, but we've sorted most of them out. Hilariously enough, there is a 108,000 stack now, currently sitting, 111, sitting neatly here, and boom, we have our new wave of rebels. I think basically Albania is more or less broken right now, which means that I have one hell of a problem to clean up. It is my own mess, I can't blame anyone else. So I'll have to hopefully start the annexation of Albania ASAP, and again have a lot of troops here stationed. But at this point it could potentially go to the, well, to a degree where I'll start losing manpower. It'll be too much for even me to recover from. So we'll have to see what we want to do with this war. But for now, we'll leave it as is, and we're going to we'll end it here. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.